Hey guys, Jonathan Mozet here for JM Sports 100 and the JM Sports Show. How's it going? I'm here to make my NFL picks for Week 17, 2012, last week of the 2012 regular season. Why did I laugh when I came on? Well, let me tell you. I recorded this video once, took 15 minutes, and then as I was watching it back, I realized that I said that I'd do something in the beginning of the video. In the beginning of the video, I said I would do something at the end of the video that's pretty major, and I forgot to do it. And that is going through all the playoff scenarios. I know there's a lot of playoff scenarios that can take place tomorrow, and I will go through all of them when we get there. Or at the end of the video, I'll go through all those. Not really going to give much explanation to the games. Okay, well, maybe I will do a little bit, but first of all, I do want to say this though. Sean Payton, highest paid coach now in the NFL. If the source is correct on the contract numbers, more than $8 million annually is what Payton's new contract should get him paid with the Saints. So we'll see how that goes. Let's kick things off with Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Actually, let's kick things off giving you guys the record. I gotta go through and make sure it's right. Pretty sure it is, but I gotta go through and make sure it's right. Here's the record I have right now, though: 165, 78, and 1 on the year, 464, 269 in one lifetime, and against the spread, 85 and 66 for the year and lifetime. All right. Here we go. Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Atlanta minus 3.5. Here's the deal, quite frankly. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this game, but I am a little bit iffy. Atlanta doesn't have anything to play for, so I don't know how much they're going to be playing their starters. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And I'm nervous to do it just because, actually, you know what? I'm going to switch live. Right here, on camera, I'm switching. I didn't in the last video, but this one counts. I'm going to here. Tampa Bay's defense is horrendous. Tampa Bay has played horrible football the last 2 weeks. The last 2 or 3 weeks. Haven't been able to do anything. So, they've just looked bad, and I think it continues against Atlanta. So there you go. Last second change. That's exclusive kind of right there. New York Jets, Buffalo Bills. Minus 3.5 for the Bills. This game means absolutely nothing. The Jets are a mess. We all know it. Tebow's out. Sanchez is out at the end of the Tebow's out at the end of the year. Sanchez is out at the end of the year. Quite frankly, I think Rex Ryan should be out at the end of the year too, but I don't think he will be. I think the Jet. I don't know. I can see him getting fired, but I don't think he will. I think he should, but who am I to say? Chan Gailey could be in trouble in Buffalo too, I think. But I'm gonna go with the Jets to win. I understand. By the way, I just want to say one quick side note. I do understand Tim Tebow's frustration with being upset about not being in the starter. So here's what you have happen. You bench Sanchez. Okay? And then you go with Greg McElroy over Tim Tebow. You go with your third string quarterback over your second string quarterback. Then, Greg McElroy, concussion. Can't play Sunday. Rex Ryan says, well, we think Mark Sanchez gives us the best chance to win. Yeah, he does. You're 6-9. Great chance to win. So you skip over your second string again to go back to Sanchez and have him start. I say give Tebow a shot. It's the last week of the season. You got nothing to play for. Give Tebow the go, but you're not going to. Anyway, give me the Jets to win what I think will be an ugly football game and a game that not a lot of people care about. Baltimore and Cincinnati minus 2.5 for the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this game. I just think they're better. So give me the Ravens for the spread, of course, too. Chicago and Detroit. Detroit plus 3.5. Chicago, of course, trying to squeeze into a wild card spot. They need a little bit of help, but trying to squeeze into a wild card spot. If the Bears don't make the playoffs, Lovie Smith could be in trouble. That'll be back-to-back years with big collapses for the Bears. I've got the Bears winning this game. Big. So Jacksonville and Tennessee. Tennessee minus 4.5. This game could be basically an audition for two coaches looking for new jobs. Mike Mularkey, I think, is out in Jacksonville. That's a bunch of malarkey. And Tennessee and Mike Munchak, I think they'll part ways. I think Tennessee wins this game. I'm going to swallow the 4.5 points a little bit reluctantly, but I'm going to do it. So there you go. I think Tennessee going to be unpleased. I think Jacksonville's the better team, but I think Tennessee is going to be a little more fueled, a little more fueled to play, and to at least get to 6-10, be a little more fueled to play after getting romped by the Packers last weekend. Houston and Indianapolis plus 3.5 for the Colts at home. I think this is going to be a different game. Houston does have stuff to play for, though. I am going to go with Houston straight up, and I'm going with Colts for the spread. Indianapolis plays well at home, and I think they're going to give Houston a little bit of a fight. They kind of already did that to an extent a couple of weeks ago. I think the game has the same result, but a different score. Carolina and New Orleans. New Orleans minus 4.5 at home. I'm swallowing the points, but just because of Drew Brees. Quite frankly, I don't trust swallowing all the points here just because New Orleans' defense is so bad, and Cam Newton may be slowly starting to figure it out. So we'll see. Philadelphia, but I am going to do it. Philadelphia and the New York Giants. Giants minus 7.5 at home. Andy Reid's last game as an Eagle. More than likely. Giants need to win this game, plus they need help to get in the playoffs. Giants facing major adversity. I think they come out on top. The spread, I think, is too high, though. 7.5 too much. We know the Giants are not a good home cover. So I'm going with the Giants. We're going with the Eagles for the spread. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I can't believe I'm saying this when it comes to a Week 17 Pittsburgh game, but who cares? Nobody does. Nothing on the line here except pride. Steelers trying to get a 500 year. Cleveland already knows what their deal is. Tom Hackert's out. Pat Shurmur's out. That's already known. It was announced today. Steelers are a touchdown favorite. I think Steelers do win by a touchdown, but probably not more than that. Kansas City and Denver. A lot of points to swallow here, minus 15.5. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek here. Denver, I think, is going to finish 13-3. They're going to cover the spread. I think the AFC Championship game comes down to Denver and New England, to be completely honest with you. I think they will meet, and I think that's what happens. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Denver go to the Super Bowl. Being 100% honest on that. Actually, you know what? Forget what I just said about the AFC Championship thing, because I have to look at the seeding. I don't even know if that could possibly happen, because, actually, yes, it could. Never mind. I think Denver locks up the bye. I think Denver does lock up a bye, and I quite frankly think they face the Patriots in the AFC Championship game and beat them. Green Bay and Minnesota, but I'll talk about the rest of my playoff predictions as that time comes. Green Bay and Minnesota, plus 3.5 for the Vikings. Vikings have a lot to play for. That's their livelihood. That's their playoff livelihood. Packers still trying to lock down the first round bye and get a little bit better seeding. If things stay the way they are right now, Packers and Vikings would flip around Wild Card Weekend and play again, but this time in Green Bay. I think the Packers win this game, so I'm going to go with them for that and for the spread. But if you're a Packer fan, I think you have to worry a little bit about Adrian Peterson, thinking about what he did against the Packers back at Lambeau several weeks ago in their first meeting. Miami and New England minus 10.5. I'm going to swallow all these points, but I have a hard time doing it because I think Miami is a better team than a 10.5 point team. But the weather, I think the weather is going to play a factor. It's going to be cold, probably going to be snowy, going to be miserable. Going to be New England type weather. New England loves the kind of weather they'll play in tomorrow. Give me the Patriots. Oakland and San Diego. San Diego minus 4.5. Norv Turner's last game as Chargers head coach. Finally, more than likely. And if not, then I think there'll be an explosion in San Diego. Um, I think they win the game, and Turner has a 7-9 year in his last year. I'm going to go with them to cover. I think they're better than the Raiders. Arizona and San Francisco, a lot of points to swallow here, 14.5, but I'm going to swallow all of them. For as much as I hate to say it, because I like Ken Wisenhunt as a head coach, I think he's a great head coach. I think he's in trouble, and I think he's out in Arizona. And had the Cardinals won the Super Bowl back in 2008, we may not be saying that, but they didn't. So we're saying it. And I think he's just out. He doesn't know what's going on with the quarterback thing. Is it John Skelton? Is it Kevin Cobb? Is it the other guy whose name I can't think of? And there's a lot of confusion. It's a mess. It's been a disastrous year in Arizona. I think you got to get Larry Fitzgerald out of there too. I know Beanie Wells wants out. He thinks he'll be somewhere else next year. I know he wants to be somewhere else next year. Fitz is going to get upset. He's going to want to start leaving soon. This Arizona thing is going to get interesting. Meanwhile, I think San Francisco covers. St. Louis and Seattle. Seattle's just a better team. Minus 10.5. Give me the Seahawks to swallow all those points and stay undefeated at home. Finish 8-0 at home this year. One game left, Dallas and Washington, a lot of stakes to it. Now, Washington does not have to win this game to make the playoffs. There is a scenario that could give them a wild card. Dallas, on the other hand, has to win. Win in, lose, gone. That's how they work. Jason Garrett has to feel a little bit more safe now with his Dallas job, now that Sean Payton was locked up by the Saints, because there was talk of Sean Payton going to Dallas. Minus 3.5 is the spread here. I think the Redskins are just a better team. I think the Redskins win the game. Cowboys go home 24-14 is what I have for a final there. I think the pick part of this video is worse than the last one. Crap, this video is terrible. Maybe I'm wrong. It just feels terrible to me. Alright, let's go over some of the scenarios quick. Getting these from CBSSports.com. So if they are wrong, blame CBSSports.com. Here's the deal. The Green Bay Packers, stay tuned here, can clinch a first round bye with a win or a San Francisco loss or tie, or a San Francisco loss and a Seattle loss or tie. So basically, it's simple, Packer fans. Just win. San Francisco can clinch the NFC West Division with a San Francisco win or tie or a Seattle loss or tie. So basically, San Francisco are some big St. Louis Ram fans on Sunday. San Francisco can clinch a first round bye if San Francisco wins plus Green Bay loses, or San Francisco tie and Green Bay loses. Seattle can clinch the NFC West Division with a win and San Francisco loss, or a win, a win and San Francisco loss. That's all there is to it. Seattle can clinch a first round bye with a Seattle win and a San Francisco loss plus a Green Bay loss. Washington can clinch the NFC East with a win or a tie over the Cowboys. However, they can also clinch a playoff berth with a Chicago and Minnesota loss. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Redskins are just going to have to beat the Cowboys. Dallas can clinch the NFC East division with a win. That's all they can do. Now, the New York Giants, so this is an interesting one and the one to watch just because it's the Giants. The Giants can clinch a playoff berth with a Giant win plus a Dallas loss, a Chicago loss, and a Minnesota loss. Quite frankly, I think two of those three. I think there's three things. There's four things that have to happen for the Giants to make the playoffs, and I think three of them do. The Giants have to be Lion fans, and I think that's the one part that's going to hurt them. Minnesota could surprise me against Green Bay, but I do have the Packers still winning that game. This can be a long video. Minnesota can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie plus a Chicago loss, or a Dallas loss or tie plus a Chicago loss or tie, or plus a Chicago loss plus a New York Giant loss or tie. Basically, here's what's going to happen. Minnesota's going to have to beat the Packers. That's going to be the only way chances are that they're going to get in. Chicago can clinch a playoff berth with a Chicago win plus a Minnesota loss, or a Chicago tie and a Minnesota loss. Quite frankly, I think the Bears are who locks up that NFC wild card spot. Oh man. Houston can clinch a first round bye with. Let's go to the AFC now. Yeah, that was just the NFC. Let's do the AFC. Houston can clinch a first round bye with a Houston win or tie, or a New England loss or tie, or a loss by Denver. Quite frankly, Houston needs to win to clinch first round bye, and I think they will. Houston can clinch home field advantage with a win, or a tie plus a Denver loss, or a New England or Denver loss. So I think Houston, could lock up home field. Denver can clinch first round bye with a Denver win or tie, or a New England loss or tie. Denver's going to have to win. Quite frankly, like I said, I think Denver gets the bye. I think Houston and Denver get the byes. Now, New England can clinch a first round bye with a New England win plus a Denver loss, or a win and a Houston loss. But I think New England's going to end up playing on a wild card weekend. Now, New England can clinch home field advantage with a win and losses by Houston and Denver. Whew. That is a lot right there. I'm sorry if it was confusing. I will put a link in the description to where I got that, so you can look at it yourselves. Sorry that this was probably my worst pick video of the year, but there was a lot to talk about. Not a lot of energy, a little bit of confusion, and just kind of a mess. So like I said, I will put a link to the CBS page that I got the playoff scenarios from in the description if you are confused and I talked too fast and you got lost like I think you probably did. Alright guys, that is going to do it for me. This thing is going to take forever to upload, almost 20 minutes long. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's do one more thing. Let's see if we can drag this a little bit longer. We had a bad day on the Bulls. We went 1-4. We are now 11-8 on the year, 45-22 lifetime. Glad we have a day off of Bulls tomorrow. Pretty confident about Monday's picks though, but because I said that, we probably won't do very good. 9-2 in the NBA on Saturday, 266, 147 on the year, 1,160 wins, 639 losses lifetime. And in college basketball, we went 12-1. Our one loss was we said Kentucky would upset Louisville. Louisville won that game by 3, but we also did call for an upset. We called for North Carolina to upset UNLV, and that did happen. 277-65 on the year, 1,261, 512 lifetime. Alright guys, wow, I am sick of talking. I'm ready to be done talking. But if you want to talk with me live, here's what you can do. You can go to my channel and check the video I posted a little bit ago about Block TV. And the video is titled "Want to talk to Jams? Want to talk to the JM Sports Show live?" or something like that. So check that out. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Whew. I'm out. Peace.